We are talking about the film village in the whole of West Africa. I've done my research, and I don't think there's a film village in West Africa as huge as the gigantic thing His Excellency Governor Kowa is putting up in Delta State at the moment. We're talking about film village here. We're talking about Nollywood. We are talking about bringing in people from outside the country. We are talking about seeing how we can partner, how we can collaborate with people to come into Delta State. Like I always say, ROMD was a commissioner for tourism in Delta State. He's also a Nollywood actor. So if we have a personality of that figure coming from Delta State, and my governor has a legacy he wants to leave behind for the next generation to come and tap into it, we discover that the new generation now, all they think about now is how to monetize their creative assets, talking about entertainment, talking about acting, talking about tourism. So virtually what we have in Delta State at this point in time, the next quarter will just suffice to let you all know that Delta is a big heart. You need to be in Delta State to see the magnificent film village being built in Delta State currently by no other person than His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Delta State, Governor Ibrahim Okowa. So the Nollywood Film Village, I don't even call it Nollywood Film Village. The International Film Village in Delta State is something for you all to come and behold. We are expecting you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. First of all, before I come to you, sir, I'll apologize first. I've just been told that the representative of the Commissioner of Culture and Tourism for Ogun State is in the house. She's actually the Director of Tourism Development and Promotion, Mrs. Ronke Tokunbo Peters. Please come to the stage. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were there. Is she? Please just come on board. Let's celebrate her. She comes on board so that she can join us. Don't stop clapping until she gets here. You're welcome. Please. Once again, I didn't know she was in the hall. I apologize. She's obviously supposed to be here. We're talking about Ogun State is one place that they also have. Okay, since we're taking the first question, so it's your time to take your first question. Please, can you just hand over the mic to her? Now, Olumo Rock is very popular. And I want to ask you, I'm putting you on a very tough spot right now. Are you comfortable with the value you're getting out of Olumo Rock the way it is right now? If not, what are the things you think or you have in plan that you want to do so that you can scale up the patronage, the numbers that come through to come see Olumo Rock? What are the things you think? Or we should stop talking about Olumo Rock. There are so-so places, there's so-so places in Ogun State that your ministry is already working on, and they are going to be a better site that people can come and see.
Thank you. I won't tell you to stop talking about Olumo Rock, because when you talk about Ogun State, you're talking about Olumo, be the cradle of the Egbas. And that what we've been doing, let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When last have you been to Olumo Rock?
I think 2 years ago when I took people there, that is the last time. I would be very frank, because I know some people are recording this. I was there 2 years ago. I took 4 people there. They came in from England, and I was so eager to take them to Olumo Rock. And you can continue with the rest, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
For the main entrance, that has been done.
Okay.
We now have 3 lanes to this side, 3 lanes to the other side. Okay. You can go there with heavy speed and turn. You can even spin if you like. You can do all kind of magic. Okay. On the road network to the place, that one has been done. And that was why I asked you the first question. When last have you been to the Olumo Rock? Good. And aside that, for Olumo Rock, we've done another facelift there concerning our gallery. We've worked on a gallery, we've worked on a contemporary gallery and historical gallery to add value to your money. At the same time, we are not increasing our rates. And even the easy access to climbing the rock, now our elevators are working, aside the third one anyway, and that will be fixed very, very soon. Also, we want to turn Olumo Rock around by constructing straw huts inside Olumo so that you can have traditional games, you know, preserving our history of who we are as an Egba indigene and as Ogun State indigene. And whenever you come around, there you will now eat or further, you know, all our foods. When you're talking about our cuisines, it's only in Ogun State, you know now, that do have desserts and main course, the first course, second course, and third course. You can ask me, I'll tell you. So that you will be getting now from our Nokasi kitchen. We call our kitchen Nokasi. We don't use English name for our kitchen now. Now we call it Nokasi. All this, and you can get a very fresh palm wine over there, so you feel cool by the time you come down from the rock.
You were all here.
Yes.
She publicly invited me to come and taste the food in Abeokuta. I'm going to take her on that, and I'm going to go to Abeokuta very soon, and she's going to treat me to the Ofada, the
Ofada Lafu.
Lafu.
Yes, Ayamase sauce.
Ayamase sauce.
That goes with the Ofada.
That goes with the Ofada.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take you on that. Now, I'm going to ask three of you the same question. I've already hinted him. He knows that what he wants to tell us right now is that one thing, that anytime you remember Cross River, you would always think of that thing, or is that thing that would draw you there. I also want you to think about that thing for Ogun State, Abeokuta. I want you to also think about that thing, Honorable, for Delta State. So you have the floor, Mr. John.
Thank you very much. Permit me if I take a little bit more time to try to get into it. What I want you to remember when you come to Cross River State going forward is an ecotourism paradise. It's very important that we re-diversify the destination as we know it as Africa's largest street party, come and live and be at rest, most of the best cuisine in the country, the people are hospitable, we know. But what I need Nigerians to understand is that we're looking these days about conservation, we're trying to worry about climate change, and we need to understand that tourism is a consumer of resources. And as you're consuming these resources, you are generating a lot of carbon footprint. Going forward, we need to now start thinking about sustainable tourism development and how we apply that. In Cross River State, I like to think, and I say proudly, that we have the best ecotourism destination in Africa. This is on record. I'll tell you why. Cross River State has one of the only 25 biodiversity hotspots left in the world. We have one of the only 3 or so or 5 rainforests left in the world. And more than that, we have the world's rarest gorilla. It's called the Cross River gorilla, Gorilla Delhi. It's so critical that we don't even see the benefits of the resources that we have. I'll tell you a story. Our brothers in the East, in Rwanda, have a gorilla tracking program or project. You pay $1,500 to track a gorilla, right? They issue 96 gorilla tracking permits every day or so. They make some like $4.5 million from those permits alone. Those permits are often booked well in advance, right? And most times you go and track the gorilla, you may not see it. You may just see where it's been, the trail or something like that. That's $4.5 million alone. They've got a gorilla naming ceremony that generates X amount of money. You have not started talking about how much you're going to be getting from the hotels, from all these visitors. But this is just a gorilla. But we have the rarest gorilla in the world in Cross River State. These are verifiable. You can check. This is in addition to all the experiences that we have across the state, be it waterfalls, be it the Obudu Mountain Resort, be it Heritage, Mary Slessor. There's the monolith 6,000 years old. I can go on and on and on and on and on. But it's easy for us to not value what we have. And I'll put a lot of emphasis on the federal government here. Tourism is a generator of resources. A whole country can depend on tourism alone, right? And it's very experiential. When we have a federal government who, first of all, doesn't have the head of tourism in the Federal Executive Council, you are speaking volumes to everybody in the world. You are telling people that wait a minute, you're not taking tourism seriously. So this government has come not to criticize, but just to say we need to start taking what we have more seriously and creating and projecting the narrative that we want to see. Ghana did Year of Return some years ago and had created a narrative that states that most of the slaves that went through Africa to America came from Ghana. That was 18.1%. 30.1% came from the Bight of Biafra, which was in Cross River State. Now, if you do not take advantage of and create your narrative, somebody will tell it for you, and they will not tell it correctly. So
if I'm coming to Cross River State, what should I remember?
Right. Ecotourism.
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 Okay.
Experiential experience.
Thank you so much. Honorable, if I'm coming to Delta State, what is that one thing, that selling product that you want to push out there?
Look at festivals at this point in time. I had an eye-opener during the coronation of the Olu of Warri, and I discovered that it's beyond the human eye. Talking about festivals in Delta State, fortunately, I'm from a background where my mother is Chekiri and Urobo, and then my father is from Agbo. I've tasted the Agbo festivals, I've tasted the Urobo festivals, and then only recently I tasted the Chekiri festivals, and it blew my mind off. I was happy, just like you asked that question, how are we selling the festivals in Delta State? I, on a personal note, took it upon myself to go to Ode Shekiri, Big Worry, to cover that event. I'm glad to also let you know that that event, I have pushed it internationally. I've pushed it on YouTube. I also have a TV show in DBS where it will soon be coming up. It's something, festivals, talking about festival is something that is so elated. In Delta State, I want to project festivals first. I want you to come in and see that, yes, when you talk about Delta State, the festivity in Delta State is something that you just say, wow. I don't know how else to expatiate on that. But one thing I also want to let you know is this legacy that the governor is also putting on ground is another niche we have carved out for Delta State. You discover that,
Okay.
You discover that virtually every film that is being acted these days, even from the East, they come to Delta State. I've seen several of them. They come to Delta State. Why? The scenic environment. The attractions we have in Delta State. If you watch your home videos, most of them are from Delta State.
All right, so two things that you look out for when you go to Delta State is the international festival village. And the second thing is festivals. So if Delta State is planning to put a lot of value on their festivals, and you should look out for it, a lot of festival is coming on in Delta State. Ogun State, what is that thing we should look out for when we're coming to Ogun State?
When coming to Ogun State, you know one thing, Ogun State is known for the African Drum Festival. Oh, COVID-19 debarred from organizing it last year and this year. But I want everybody to look out for and watch out for African Drum Festival coming up next year. By His grace, we will not experience COVID-19, and that, you know, that one is big for everybody to see. And aside that, we have our festivals, our major festivals, like
what's the second one? What did you call the second one? Flamingo
festivals. We are having a Kesson Festival now. On Saturday will be the grand finale. We've started a week long. We started on Monday, I think, on Monday, and that will be ending. The grand finale will be tomorrow, Saturday, yes, on Saturday, where you have the display of it. You know, when it comes to Ikperu Remo, well, Lagos State do celebrate your festival, but you know, is back to the basis in Ogun State, and Ikperu Remo is known for that.
So you have
Eyo groove. Even the graveyard of Eyo, the man Eyo, was a native of Ikperu Remo.
Oh, that's
and he died there.
Oh.
We have the burial site there. So we are celebrating the Akeson festival. We call it Akeson Bale Oja, and that is where our governor comes from. So lots of festivals we do celebrating Ogun State, Ojujoba, and the rest of it. Another thing that I want you to watch out for is, do you know that we still have trade by barter market?
Oh, where? In the
Makomi. Makomi, that is a community around the Ijebu waterside, where we're still practicing trade by barter. The market is still there. Come over to Makomi and you will see how we trade and preserve our history. In Ogun State, we love preserving history a lot. We preserve our monuments, historical monuments. We preserve our culture. We cherish our culture a lot. You will see me in Ajie, and watch out, it's online. Ogun Digital Ajie Digital Market. You don't have to come to Ogun State straight away to come and buy your Ajie. You can go online, and your Ajie will be delivered by your doorstep.
No, I will come. Don't worry. I will not buy them.
Don't worry. When you come,
you know I'm coming to eat rice.
Yeah, definitely. You call it ofada.
Ofada. Okay.
Ofada.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please help me. Sorry, ma. Time. Let's celebrate these great people. Cross River State, Delta, and Ogun State. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, we want to go into the next session. The next session is a very, very interesting session. I'm told that we have Mr. Abong Abong, the Assistant Conservator General, Ecotourism and Publicity for the National Park Service in the house. Please, sir, can you just come up here? Please celebrate him as he comes on. Please celebrate him. Please come, sir. Come take your seat, sir. Oh, okay. No problem. He said he has a presentation by the CG and we have to take that right now. Please, let's go down as he... Please celebrate him as he takes the presentation of the CG.
My name is Abong Abong, not Abong as I heard. Please, it's Abong, A-B-O-N-G-S. You can see on my breast. And as I said, I am here representing the Conservator General of National Park Service, Dr. Ibrahim Musa Goni, who is unable to be here in person himself. As you know, or you may have heard, the Minister of Environment recently, the minister was moved to Minister of Agriculture. And so the Minister of State had to take over, and it is her first time of going to the National Assembly to present a budget about the ministry. And so she needed all the heads of agencies under her ministry to accompany her there. As we speak right now, they are still in the National Assembly for that purpose. So my CG sent his apologies for not being here in person. But they have sent me that I should represent him, and he gave me this message, a welcome message to all of us. So I will just try to do that, and along the line I can interject to say one or two things. I want to start, therefore, by saying that it's been a wonderful day, right from the morning when I came here, the various people who have spoken, the panel that have spoken here, wonderful things, wonderful ideas, all of them tilting to one thing, a need to refocus on internal tourism, home tourism, and that is what we are here for. And I pray that at the end of this day, we will not just go away and keep on doing things our way, but that we will begin to also practice what we have heard here right from the course of this meeting this morning. So his paper, please. may I, on behalf of the management, officers, and men of the National Park Service, express our profound appreciation to our avant-garde tours and sponsors of the Nigeria Travel Week for not only successfully organizing this year's edition, but for also maintaining the tempo in spite of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the sector. We equally appreciate the fact that this is the only private sector tourism body that engaged the National Park Service commitment and true friendship, not only to the National Park Service, but as a flagship custodian of the nation's ecotourism assets, but shows your earnest desire to transform Nigeria's vast tourism potentials into a growing financial concern that will be beneficial to all. Permit me also to appreciate all the VIPs here present and other stakeholders for participating in this Travel Week event, and more importantly, for gracing this stakeholders forum. Thank you for coming, please. We are grateful that you are here, because if we are not here, we'll be speaking to an empty hall. Tourism across the globe remains an important business, a veritable tool for economic transformation and sustainable development of many nations. The sector has contributed and impacted significantly on the gross domestic product of many countries in Africa and beyond. The narrative in Nigeria has, however, been somewhat abysmal in spite of all the laudable policies made by different governments at different times across the Nigerian space to woo tourism as the preferred sector that can change the economy. Insecurity, worsening economic climate, shrinking biodiversity, low internal marketing of improvidence have been contributory to Nigeria's low performance in the sector. The glitch caused by the coronavirus pandemic has additionally fueled to worsen the outlook of tourism in recent times in Nigeria. It has therefore become compelling that the industry must painstakingly make efforts to reinvent and invigorate tourism in the country. Pandemic has come maybe to stay, and because of that, people are no longer traveling outside too much. We need to make change by ourselves. A fresh start for Tourism 2.0, the theme for the 2021 Nigeria Travel Week is both intellectual and practical, as it recognizes the disruption suffered by the sector and makes bold the need to articulate a new blueprint that will reject and mainstream tourism into our national economic life. A fresh start connotes a time to take a look at the critical factors that will leverage the industry back into the annals of national discourse. The last people that sat here, they said much. What is their dream going forward? A time to look inward and take advantage of the awesome tourism potentials our country is blessed with. We are a very, very rich nation ahead of cultural things. I was happy to hear the man from Cross River talking about the Cross River gorilla. Incidentally, I am a Cross Riverian, and incidentally, we have a national park in that sector also. So, ecotourism is the place to go. As we are going down, you'll hear it in this paper. It is a time to redefine our roles as industry players by appreciating and protecting our natural and cultural assets as a mainstay of our national tourism assets, with potentials to change the narrative of the contributions of the industry to national development. About some years ago, the United Nations even took steps and said they should do what they call satellite accounts. I don't know where that matter ended, but we have a good thing so that we know what is it that tourism is contributing, how much is coming into the national coffers through tourism. That project needs to be revisited. This necessity becomes more expedient at a time that the chief consumers of Nigeria's oil are shifting away from fossil fuels, with prospects that the nation may suffer severe financial losses if the needful is not done and done now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where this summit has relevance to the National Park Service. As a federal government representative and the custodian of the People's Ecotourism Commonwealth, we don't own the parks. The National Park Service does not own the parks. We are only holding in trust for those communities and for those states that own the primary resource. We are only a catalyst to see how they can be transformed to something that can bring money and put food on the table of people. And you here this afternoon are key. Our national parks are the direction to go. Yes, somebody said about ecotourism. We need to do something about our environment, how to rejig them to become useful to us. The parks are the natural home of the best nature has endowed our country with. Our presence here today is to educate prospective tourism investors on the existence of national parks in Nigeria and the investment opportunities they can take advantage of to create dependable value chains that can compete and even exceed offerings in national parks in other countries. With what we already have, is just to add something new, something small. People go to places and they just go and show them flowers, or they go and do things to deceive them. But yes, it's naturally existing. Add something that can make, for instance, the cattle ranch at the Obudu Plateau. What else can we do apart from the lodges there? Something that can add adventure, give adventure, so that somebody comes to stay in the place, can have an activity that he can perform to extend his stay in the place. That will help to increase patronage. The national parks. The Nigerian National Park Service is a paramilitary agency under the Federal Ministry of Environment, established through Decree 46 of 1999, now Act 46 of the same year. The policy thrust of the service is to provide national security first and foremost, conserve, manage, and regulate the sustainable use of the diverse natural and cultural resources which abound within the national parks for our national development. National parks play immense roles in medicine, in research, in education, agriculture, spiritualism, tourism, and are a critical component in the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. And many of these goals are fulfilled through the National Park Service. Our mission is to deploy human, material, and financial technologies for the protection, regulation, and development of our national parks, for the conservation of the pristine ecosystems they contain, and to provide complementary products that meet the aspirations of nature lovers, stand out the service as a citadel of ecotourism and a veritable tool for national development. Progressive effort is being made in this direction to see how this can come to pass. The National Park Service currently has 7 national parks spread across the different ecological zones of this country, except the marine ecosystem. These parks account for about 22,000 square kilometers, or 2.5% of Nigeria's land area. These parks include Chad Basin National Park, Cross River National Park in Cross River State, Gashaka Gomti in Taraba State, Kanjile National Park in Niger State and Kwara State, Odoye National Park in Oyo State, Kamuku National Park in Kaduna State, and then Okomu National Park in Edo State. These parks are rich in natural and cultural resources such as lush, evergreen cloud forests, rainforests, golden sand dunes, enthralling desert oases, spectacular mountain splendors, sparkling crystal clear springs, scenic plains, endless enchanting coastlines and seascapes, and wetlands, complemented by rich biodiversity. He mentioned the Cross River gorilla, gorilla dialing. It is found only in Cross River State. It is something to be proud about. The Badamalimbe is also another bird that is found only in Nigeria. He failed to mention the red bare-headed rockfowl, also found only in Cross River State. So these are rare species that can make us proud, that can make us sellable. Fascinating cultural, historical, and archaeological sites and serene park lodges. All of these hold great potential for ecotourism development in Nigeria. Recently, the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, approved the creation of 10 additional national parks in the country, thereby widening the prospects and scope of ecotourism practice in the country. This singular development has made the service an important emerging destination of choice for tourism in the country and degraded all excuses for emphasis on urban tourism in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to bring to your attention the fact that National Park Service governing law is undergoing review. It has passed second reading of that review. We are looking forward to it entering the third reading so that it can make something better for us. This will make our national parks even more tourism friendly and enable the service deliver almost seamlessly more and better visitor-oriented programs. In the old law, there's no mention of the word tourism since 1991. Tourism is never mentioned anywhere in that law. And because of that, subsequent governments have been questioning parks for partial commercialization, for which a transaction advisor has been appointed. These 3 parks include Cross River National Park, Gashaka Gumti National Park, and Kanji Lake. Specifically, cascades of investment opportunities available in national parks include the following: construction and operation of park lodges. You can come in and decide to build park lodges, and then you charge a fee for them, you own them, you pay them, we agree with you how long you can pay them, and then you turn them over to government. Construction and operation of park restaurants and coffee shops, construction and operation of souvenir shops, procurement and operation of park viewing vehicles. You can come in and decide to bring park viewing vehicles, you operate them yourself. I have seen that in other countries. It's not the National Park Service that runs them. It's the private sector that runs those businesses, and then the only fee is a small fee to the federal government. It's the same thing with us here. Your money are paying, you're not paying to us, you are paying to the federal government as a commission or as a tax, as the case may be. Procurement and operation of airlift systems. One of the problems in the ranch has been how to move from Calabar to the ranch by road. And years back, there was an arrangement with Aero. I don't know whether it's still there. So the same problem with our parks, because they are found in rural areas, some of them you need to, maybe you can bridge the gap by deciding to bring in airlift systems. Operating tour packages, then procurement operation, rural banking system. Many of the rural areas, they don't have banking services. Somebody can decide to go into that also. Procurement of equipment for conservation work, patrol vehicles, patrol kits, uniforms. Somebody can take that as an NGO, for instance, to go into that kind of business. For instance, in Gashaka Gumti, we already have an NGO that is doing something like that. They are not doing for profit, but at least they are gaining. They get money, buy equipment, train staff, and then they have their own staff, they pay salaries and things like that. So somebody can also go into that to see how they can benefit together. Maintenance of park viewing tracks, marketing and promotion. This is one area that also has a problem in Nigeria. We don't do marketing. Somebody can do marketing for the parks. And then, of course, recovery of degraded ecosystems by replanting of trees. We can do that, for instance, in areas that have been mined or areas that have been farmed, over farmed. We can do that and then turn them again to green fields that can also serve again further the interests of ecotourism. Ladies and gentlemen, the service has received several applications for partnership. I saw one of the persons that have applied for partnership in this program in the morning, I want to encourage others also to come on stream. Let me use this opportunity to invite prospective investors, donors, researchers, and every other stakeholder in the tourism sector to invest in our national parks so that together we can create more employment for our youth, support conservation work, generate rural businesses, disrupt rural depopulation. Every day people are living in masses in droves into urban centers. You go to villages, only old people who cannot do anything again I will find there. Why? Because they have to seek opportunities. We can stop that by opening businesses in the rural areas that are profitable. I attended a program in Abuja recently, and they were saying we have to begin to do beautiful farming, beautiful agriculture, and beautiful tourism. Tourism that puts money in the pocket, tourism that puts food on the table. Generate income and foreign exchange, and together grow our national economy. Thank you once more for the audience, and may God bless us all. Please, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Let's celebrate our national park one more time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we are going into the last session for the day. So I want to beg you to please wait around and enjoy this very sumptuous last meal that we are serving you now. We are going to be taking a session that is titled Building Nigeria's Tourism Value Chain. Every component matters. The essence is to ensure that we look at different products, and we believe that as we go through this together, you and I will learn one or two things that will help us to be better tourism practitioners that we already have. Without further ado, I'd like to invite the representative of the chairman of Airpeace to come join us on this podium right now, Mr. Adekunle Alero. Let's clap for him and celebrate him as he comes on board. Is representing the chairman of Airpeace. We're going to be looking at these products individually, and I believe, take any seat, sir. Please have your seat. Thank you for coming. It also gives me great pleasure to invite to the stage the founder of Ibaje, Obi Asika. Is he around? Obi Asika, is he? Okay, he's online. Okay, he's going to be joining us online. I would also, is Moyo around? Not here yet. My sister. Oh God, I'm so happy you're here. Please help me welcome to the stage the founder of Upbeat, the best sports center in the whole of West Africa, Mrs. Moyo Ogunseinde. Please celebrate her. She's my sister. She's special to me. Celebrate her. Celebrate her. Celebrate her. Welcome. Please. All right. Let me quickly welcome to the stage Mr. Salome Danjuma, BDM. Is he around? Oh, Mrs. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I don't know why I just, celebrate her. Help me celebrate her, please. Forgive me. All right, thank you. Please take a seat. This session is looking good already. We're going to have a very, very wonderful session. Now, there's a young brother of mine that is in the house. He's founder of what we all know as African Sport Travel Week. When I got here this morning, I said to him, you know why I love you? You have stood in this space. You have made up your mind that this is what we ought to be doing. And if we don't get it yet, I'll be waiting here for the rest of Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage Prince Deji, Ajomale, McWord. Where are they now? Deji. Okay, he will join us. He's around. I know he's around. let me start straight ahead. Now, what I normally do for those who have been here since morning is you first introduce yourself in a short, this is who I am. You mentioned my name, but I do this, I do that, I do that. We'll run through that, and I'll now take my questions. Moyo.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here for the Nigerian tourism event. So my name is Moyo Ogunseinde. I'm a real estate developer, architect, designer, and a passionate enthusiast for the tourism industry. Under my portfolio is the Radisson Blu Anchorage Hotel in Victoria Island, Upbeat Center in Lekki. And we are passionate about just building the tourism ecosystem. I'm also involved in sports. I'm the Lagos State Sports Gymnastics Association chairperson, as well as on the board of the federation. And I understand and I appreciate platforms like this that give us an opportunity to interact, network, and make the ecosystem stronger. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a designer, so, as you can see. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Adekunle. I'm team lead marketing for Airpeace Limited, the biggest airline in West Africa. I'm happy to represent the chairman CEO at Nigerian Travel Week. I really appreciate this opportunity given to us. We also tell our prospective customers, our prospective target audience, how we've been flying the skies for 7 years, and now we also want to extend our wings to other parts of Africa. Currently we're flying to over 7 regional destinations. We do 2 international. But in the course of the session, I will also elaborate more on where we want to extend our wings to with our brand new aircraft, E195E2, which is the first of it in Africa. We purchased this aircraft to enable us to achieve our vision and mission for Airpeace, which is to connect people seamlessly throughout Nigeria and Africa. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Salome, and I'm the Business Development Manager for the Wheatbaker Lagos Hotel in Ikoyi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deji, introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Prince Deji Ajomale. I'm the founder of African Sports Tourism.
Yes, is the founder of African Tourism Week. I'll start from you. Deji, now what we are trying to get or address in this session is how does your product add to the value chain of tourism in Nigeria? How can you, or explain to us what you do, help us to have enough offerings for those who are coming to Nigeria or Africa?
Okay. Let me start by saying that Nigeria is home to more than 60 golf courses scattered across Nigeria. And we are the only ones in West Africa that has that much. None other, not even Ghana. And golf tourism has been going on for more than 100 years in this country. Polo has been on for more than 100 years in this country. Yes, we would say Nigeria is not really yet a proper sport destination yet, but there's a lot of, sports tourism going on on a weekly basis in Nigeria. Golfers move around a lot. I could remember during the lockdown last year, the proper lockdown, my friend and some of his friends left Lagos in the dead of the night to travel all the way to Ilorin because there was still restrictions and they couldn't. All the golf courses in Lagos were locked down. They had to go all the way to Ilorin because that's the only place they could find a golf course to play. So there was a level of addiction that comes with golf. So there's a whole lot of golf tourism going on. Polo is a seasonal game, but once we are in the season, you see a lot of polo enthusiasts and players moving around the country. Some of them can be out who can be away from their home for as much as 6 weeks, from one polo club to the other. So there's a whole lot of sports tourism going on. However, like I always say, sports tourism strategy is not a plug-and-play gadget. In other words, it's something we need to be deliberate about. It's something we need to be intentional about. So it's not enough for us to have all these things. And above all, we have the population. We have the population. If only 10% of Nigerians are very much active in sports tourism, our tourism industry will be better for it. We have the population for it.
Thank you so much. You were here in the other session because I saw you. Now, if you recall, one of the things that was said was that it seemed that Nigeria is not putting forward its products enough. The offerings are not out there enough. How, in your own explanation or what you do, will you be able to help us in Nigeria to put what you do more forward so that people who are out there would come to Nigeria just because they want to come and do business with you?
Thank you. I feel like the conversation, especially with the music industry and the arts and our fashion, are a good tool to attract people. So using Burna Boy is going around. He's a great ambassador of Nigeria. Davido, they are going to arenas internationally. Our music is booming internationally. Those can be used as avenues to attract people to come. Because if a state person or an ordinary person stands up and puts on their Twitter page or their LinkedIn or Instagram page for people to come, the impact may be negligible. But when you have Burna Boy or Davido or whoever putting these things on their own platforms, the reach is a lot. I mean, Davido put a post up, and Wema Bank and everything that goes with it. So those people have that strength of market.
Don't talk about that 10 million thing, or you start to make me start to think now. I'll start thinking of the money. Maybe, me too, I need money. Oh, please start sending money to my account. All right, Epis. Transportation is critical for tourism. People need to know that if they want to go to Kanu, if they want to go to Port Harcourt, if they want to go to all of these places, they are sure that they can get there. What is Epis doing, or what are the products or niche area that you have that you want people out there to know so that they will not think about it the moment they step into Nigeria? They're sure of connecting flights. I know you do international flights, but Epis is like that top brand in Nigeria. What are the things? What special product does Epis offer their client that will make people want to come do business in Nigeria because they think of Epis?
Oh, thank you very much. This is a very good platform to also tell the world and also tell the attendees here more about Epis. For the question you asked, right now we have 29 aircraft in our fleet. We have 3 big planes, 777, which goes on longer routes, like goes as far as Johannesburg, it goes as far as China. During the COVID period, we brought in the materials for COVID. I'm sure everybody's aware, from China, from India, and the rest. We also do charter.
I think we should celebrate Epis for that. Let's celebrate them, please. Sorry, before you continue, I know Nigerians feel, they're more comfortable with, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. When they do good, let us make it a point of duty to celebrate them. Epis have shown themselves. The South African issue, you guys also stepped forward. Yeah. You were able to do it. We celebrate you. I'm also taking that opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate. Like I was saying before, we have 29 aircraft in our fleet. Because it's a very short session, I'll make it brief. We are trying to outface the fleet we have. We've acquired 13 brand new E195 E2. It's COVID-19 compliant, staggered business class seats, and it has filters in it that even if you're seated beside someone that has the virus, your chances of contracting is very, very low. By the year 2022, and I want you to quote me verbatim, we've acquired 30 of that particular aircraft. The reason why is because we want to extend our wings to other parts of the world. To juxtapose what you asked me with what I'm saying right now, the tourists coming from other parts of the world, they want to come to Nigeria to see that they can go to any destination. For example, I was in Dakar like 3 weeks ago, and I saw that most of their revenue generation is on tourism. People get to, you see a lot of white people, you see a lot of Africans there. People get to go to those countries to know that they can also connect to other places. Air Peace Airline, you can quote me again, Air Peace Airline is the only airline that flies directly from Nigeria to Johannesburg, that flies directly from Nigeria to other regional West African countries like Accra, like Banjul, like Monrovia, like Freetown. If you want to go with Sky, for example, you have to spend, say, for example, 3 hours in Lome. When I was going to Cameroon to open Douala station, I spent 2 hours in Lome trying to connect to Douala. But when APIS came on board to Cameroon, the people, the Nigerians there were very happy because a lot of Nigerians all over the world. We are the most black populous nation in the world. We are highly populated. When you travel around this world, you find out a lot of Nigerians everywhere. We are able to do one of our key achievements for this year, where we've been able to acquire 4 brand new E195 E2. 9 is coming, 1 is coming next week. And like I said, by the year 2020, we have 30 brand new of those aircrafts. The lady behind you, she's the marketing manager of Airpeace. Her name is Neda. We're traveling to Malabo next week to try to do groundbreaking for Guinea Conakry. We want to start flying to that route as well. The essence of this aircraft acquisition is to connect for tourism, for individuals, for Nigerians. They can connect without having any issues while they are traveling. Probably before this session, I can't remember who spoke about it. When you go to Addis Ababa, for example, you have to spend 9 hours. I was trying to go to Congo Kinshasa. I was told to spend 9 hours in Addis. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So what Airpeace is trying to do is to connect each Nigerian seamlessly around the world. So by the year 2020, I can assure you we have 30 brand new aircraft. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moyo, there's so many, you have many parts, but I want to dwell on the tourism part. When you started Upbeat, what came to your mind? I want you to share with us and tell us how that sort of helped or had to the value proposition that Nigeria puts on the table, so that when I'm coming to Nigeria for Christmas or for holiday, I think of Upbeat.
Okay, so Upbeat came about as a result of actually a real estate. It was actually a real estate opportunity, and the location lended itself to something that was that worked for the communities, Lekki Phase 1. At that point in time, we needed to do something. You say every opportunity, everything that seems like it's not positive. We needed to do something really quickly to that space. At first, we were going to do residential, but we needed to do something within 9 months because the government changed at that point in time and said we had to do something. And so we did some, we looked at the community and realized there were not enough community offerings there. And at that time, my children were involved in gymnastics and still are in sports. And we just put everything together, did the numbers, did the financials, and the returns looked really good. And so we came up with a product, and what better name than Upbeat, because we needed it to be something engaging for the youth. I'm so sorry, there's something that's
something Upbeat. Don't worry.
So we needed something that was very engaging for the youth and for the community. So that's how it came about. We came up with this name, Upbeat. I think our experience as a real estate development company with the right location in place, as well as our background in hospitality, because we also have Radisson Blue Anchorage as one of our brands, made it possible for us to have all the necessary ingredients to create a travel brand, an entertainment brand, which is once you were able to ideate, we're able to execute, we're also able to operate. Being able to do all those three things, it's not easy, but that is one of the value proposition any tourism business should offer, the ability to obviously, innovate, ideate, execute, and operate, given service that was not existing before. In that area, we didn't have we had some children's facility and family facilities, but having something that was run at that level, professional level, was missing. And so we just walked into that gap, and now we're able to be a community center where the youth would, hang around in malls. Now they're able to hang out in
connections. Yeah. So you not be too far away from mine.
Yeah, let's make it the signal better.
Let me get disconnected.
This isn't gonna work for you.
It's too small, right?
No, it's not. The network.
Yeah, so I'm not be off. I'm still connected, but it's, let me even reconnect.
We're competing with everyone else, and we can't keep giving the excuse of we're a developing country. It doesn't work anymore. We are educated, brilliant, beautiful people, and we're all over the world. But we're not selling ourselves and we're not selling our stories as well as the others are. So one of the best things we could do is really leverage technology, and I feel we'll have great opportunities ahead of us.
Celebrate Salome Danjuma. Please celebrate her. That's really nice. Leverage technology. I'm going to go to you, Moyo. What is that thing that we should take home today, in addition to leveraging technology, that would help us sell Nigeria better, think Nigeria, have confidence that, okay, when we're talking to even our families who come home for holidays, we're making sense to them, because, when you know that this thing is in your hands, you feel confident when you want to talk to people. Can you help us today? What is that thing that you want to add to leveraging technology that you want us to take home?
As tourism practitioners, there are a couple of things that I think that would make us different. One is service excellence. I think it's really important for us to recognize that mediocrity will not do. Service excellence is what will set us apart, and then understanding and appreciating our uniqueness. We have such diversity, more than over 500, for instance, we have more than 500 tribes in Nigeria. So think about this, look at the opportunity. With 500 tribes, we have, each tribe has a different way of eating, different types of food, different ways of dressing, different languages. So multiply 500 by the different types of offerings, like 10 types of cooking, dressing. That's huge amount of, I call it content to build up on, which can be packaged and monetized. And so we have to recognize this uniqueness we have and deliver this uniqueness with proper service excellence, and no one else can beat us on that. So I really will encourage us to keep on leveraging on these things that we've spoken about that make us different from others. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hear that Mr. Asika is back online. I saw him just now. He's gone again. Technology. Okay, no wala. We'll get back to him. Epis, what is that thing that you want all of us to go home with? Don't worry, don't talk Epis now. Just talk generally. You have done a good job. Mr. Chairman must give him an award. He did a very good job. Now talk generally. What is that one thing that you want us to take home so that it helps us in our marketing of Nigeria? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity to assure Nigerians and also the world that Airpeace is the airline that has proven that Nigerian airlines can't be a pushover. No, apart from Airpeace, I'm talking about other airlines as well, our competitors. I mean, probably before now, people are scared. I mean, when was the last time you heard about a crash? It's been a while. Airpeace has brought safety to the aviation sector, and we are applying more routes. In terms of my take home is this: people outside this country can have that notion that when they come to Nigeria, they can connect to any destination. I mean, seamlessly. I'll give you one example. We are the only airline that flies to Makurdi. If you're living in Benue State or living in Taraba or Nasarawa, you don't have to say, come to Abuja first and go by route to all these neighboring states. We've created that avenue for you to land in Makurdi and also go to other routes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Asika, are you still with us? Is he still there? Okay, while we sort him out, because we're taking the last question. Okay, I think he's back.
Can you hear me?
Is he there? Okay. Mr. Asika, are you there, sir?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
I'm here.
Technology. Can you hear me? All right. It's
yes,
frozen.
I can hear you.
We will
Can you
get
hear
there.
me?
Don't worry, it will happen.
Can you hear me?
Mr. Deji.
Yes, I can. Yes,
Sorry,
yes,
Prince Deji.
I
Don't
can
let
hear
me
you.
get into trouble here because you know Nigeria, we're very particular. Prince, if you call somebody that is Prince, Mr., you get into trouble. What is that one thing that you want us to take home? We know you push sports tourism. And incidentally, today, the keynote speaker talked about it. He said that if there's anything else that can compete with Nollywood, was that what he said? That it is sports, and that we should make sure, he said football specifically, we should make sure we do it better. So what is that thing? I remember in Adekunle then, there used to be this competition that old footballers used to play. They'll come home, you know, after the session, they'll come and play. You remember? They'll come, you know, all these old footballers, they'll come around. And, you know, that's what I've noticed in that, you know, outside of Nigeria. You have old long tennis players, they play out of season. It's not the regular season. You know, what is that thing that we can do in Nigeria that all of us can, you know, take home and go and prepare ourselves that, okay, they're going to be doing this that you want to share with us?
This is to the administrators. I hope they're still here. I think first and foremost, we need to collaborate. We need to collaborate. There needs to be collaboration across all the stakeholders and administrators, because aloofness will not help us. I usually say that there is no major sport destination in the world without a solid economy. If you know anyone, I would like to engage you after now. There is no sport destination, major one across the world, without a solid economy. And it's because they understand one thing: sport administrators and tourism cannot be staying aloof to each other. They should be best of couples. They should be working together. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case. I'm glad during African Sports Tourism Summit, I was able to eventually bring about that much anticipated marriage between Lagos Tourism and the Sports Commission. And hopefully we can take it up from there. I, however, want other states to follow suit and, you know, exchange a hand of fellowship, because there will always be wastage of opportunities. I was just discussing with someone, I won't mention the state. I was just discussing with someone earlier, and we were discussing about the states. They have a stadium, one of the best stadiums in West Africa, and they are constructing another one. Unfortunately, because sport and tourism do not work together, they are also going to build a stadium that is just going to sit there and be packing dust. Because we are not building stadiums that fit into 21st century. They are beautiful, their aesthetics, they are good, you know, but then they just, after the event, they just sit there. What happens? Why can't we have stadiums like Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban, where you can do paragliding out of football season, where you can do bungee jumping out of football season? So and these things I just mentioned, they are tourism properties. So when football is not in season, the stadium is still making money for the destination. It's being useful. So where our football or sport museum, the cheapest, La Liga is here. The cheapest stadium tour you can get in Spain is probably 20 euro or 25. Imagine 25 euro times 2,000 people in a week. Put the math together. And that's just by the way. We're not talking about, match day tickets. So there are so much avenues for us to make revenues, for us to make impact, but we can only get there when sport and tourism stakeholders and administrators start working together. They should be best of couples, the most enviable of couples. Sport, I always say, sport is a component of tourism. Sport never started as the multi-billion-dollar industry that it is today. It started as culture, as a way of life of the people. So it's a component of tourism. We shouldn't be separating sport and tourism. They are one. So until we get to that level, we won't be able to maximize the opportunities in sports tourism. And before I go, I like to cite a very good example within Africa here. Rwanda, the population of Rwanda is not even up to Ogun State. The landmass of Rwanda, probably the size of Ogun State or a little more. They are not, it's not, but the benefits Rwanda is reaping from sports tourism today, Nigeria is not reaping it. And we have the population, we have some of the infrastructures, we have the talent, we have the population for it. Meanwhile, no country that is very deliberate about it is reaping. When you watch PSG now, you can't miss it. Visit Rwanda. Do you know the high balls, the reach, and I had a discussion with someone who said they are probably not going to. I said to him, hey, they are going to reap the benefit and it's going to be huge. You can ask them. Okay, forgive me that I need to cite. Okay.
Mr. Asika.
Yeah.
Are you with us now?
Yes, I've been here since listening. Can you hear me?
Okay, you're with us. Fantastic. Now, what we're talking about is products of tourism in Nigeria. I know you're into entertainment, you're into a lot of wonderful things that we see as top products for tourism in Nigeria. Please talk to us. What are the things that you are offering that Nigerians all over the world would always look forward to, whether they're coming for Easter, they're coming for Christmas, that they want, that you would say to them, this is the reason why you should come back home and you're going to have a great time? Did you hear my question?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I heard you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. First of all, good afternoon to everybody. Sorry I'm not there in person. And greetings to my sister Moyo, who's there with you. Just to say, I think the first thing is Moyo already touched on it. Nigeria is a land of incredible diversity that has flora and fauna, first of all. I mean, a lot of times, if you look at Nigeria and any country in the world, if you look at Kenya, you look at South Africa, the countries on the continent that have already sorted out their tourism, you will find that the reasons why they have those visits, we have all those things in Nigeria, we just haven't invested in them. So we have the natural resource, we have the savanna, we have the rainforest, we have 1,400 kilometers of virgin beach that is basically undeveloped for the last 500 years. So when you talk about tourism, I think the first thing you have to talk about also is security. So we have to sort out our internal security issues so that we can actually enjoy our environment and engage our environment. There's cultural tourism. Nigeria probably has more cultural festivals than any other country in the world. Nigeria probably has more dances than any other country in the world. Nigeria probably has more fashion and hairstyles than any other country in the world. So when you map our original culture and our destinations with our actual pop culture from Afrobeats, the Nigerian comedy scene, the Nollywood environment, and you bring them all together with our joy of life and the way in which we party, if you're in Europe, you would know that Ibiza is a country, the entire place is built just on parties. There are places in Lagos, like Owerri, like Port Harcourt, that and actually do exactly the same thing in the West African zone. So I think not everybody has to do the same thing, and everybody has an opportunity to be enormous. If you look at what Cross River has done for the last 15 years with the Calabar Carnival, that has been absolutely enormous. That's had a huge impact, both in the local economy, the domestic economy, and in opportunities for stakeholders, for promoters, for performers. And the thing about Nigeria is about building the ecosystem. So I agree with what the gentleman was saying about sports. Sports is an enormous enabler of tourism everywhere. But the first thing is you have to be able to see the value in it to invest in it, right? So in Nigeria, I think a lot of people don't see the value in themselves and in their environment. And maybe that's why we're not being able to invest in our tourism. Because if you actually look at Nigeria, something like 100 million Nigerians move over 100 kilometers per annum. And in any other country in the world, that's actually a basic definition for tourism. When you move more than 100 miles from your zone, you're actually a tourist. So we are constantly moving in a very diverse environment with enormous cultural and incredible monuments. So the thing about it sometimes is it's like when you're sitting in traffic, you have to go maybe 30 feet above the traffic to see what you really have in front of you. So sometimes I think in Nigeria, we need to sort of step back take a helicopter view and understand the opportunity that lies in front of us. If South Africa sees 5 to 7 million tourists every Christmas who are coming into the Southern Hemisphere for the summer, Nigeria could easily see the same thing. But you have to have the logistics, you have to have the airport that can accommodate all those kind of planes. You have to be able to actually manage these people. You have to develop a hospitality culture. You know, so it's an ecosystem of things that have to happen. And I think, to be honest, most of these things have to be private sector driven. Okay? I think when we sit back and you rely on government and you wait on government, you end up at any level in this country and ever. So I don't think there's any point. Government is good for policy and government is good to sort of give a direction. But what we need is the private sector, businesses, the bankers, investors to actually invest in a connected ecosystem that can give everybody the opportunity to grow. Lagos itself could actually just be the party center of Africa if it focused on just that singular thing. You know, develop the beaches, knock out all the lounges, create that opportunity, create that 24/7 economy, which we already have because of traffic, but just open it up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when the blue line and the red line comes on, because all these things, people taking the train is already a way of tourism. It's a way of, you can live outside Lagos and work in Lagos. And these are all the kind of things we need to see to happen so that all of us can see our country. Our country is enormous. Most Nigerians do not know Nigeria. They don't know anything about themselves. And that is part of the reason why we're still being negative about ourselves. Anybody else who's not Nigerian that comes here is always amazed at what they engage. And we take it for granted. So maybe I would start with saying that the real opportunity has always been within us and the real opportunity is us, but you have to be able to see it to take advantage of it. I hope that's helpful. So I can't hear you.
Yeah, what exactly,
Okay.
what you do now? Because I know you used to be, you know,
Hello?
entertainment and all that. Did you hear what I said?
Oh, yeah, I heard a little bit. I didn't hear you. So what do we do now?
Yeah.
But we still do the same thing. We're still doing entertainment. We're still doing entertainment. We're still doing culture, new media and technology. So I work in all those spaces, and my work is always about the same thing. It's about converging our culture and bringing it onto new platforms to give opportunities to our talents. That's really what I've been doing all my life. We bring talent to the fore, we discover talent, and we bring them and we give them opportunities across many different spaces, from sports to music, to entertainment, to television, to live events, technology as well. So, I mean, I was fascinated listening to him talking about sports. You know, I was privileged to be the executive event producer for Nigeria 99, 21 years ago. And that was the biggest sports event this country has yet held. We had 1 million spectators. We had 24 teams, a FIFA Junior World Cup, the second biggest FIFA tournament. And, you know, there were a lot of learnings from that, you know, but the thing about it is, have those learnings been taken on board? Have we built our football based on those things? You know, do we have full stadiums? Do we have merchandise? Do we have all these things coming out and giving opportunities to people to build a football ecosystem? Because what we have to look at is these things, sports and all these things are businesses. They're not the construct of the 70s and the 60s. It's not government. You have to develop them as businesses and give them the opportunity to grow. So the ecosystem, which involves sports and schools and amateur sports and then professional sports, and that gives the opportunity for tourism, because tourism happens when you build value. So
thank you so much for
100,000
technology. Don't worry, we'll get it. We're very near there. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please help me celebrate these people. We really appreciate the fact that you were able to spend time with us today and share your thoughts with us. We've learned a lot. Me, I've learned a lot. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Please, as they go back to their seats. Thank you.
Things that there's a road.
Okay, let me thank everyone who've been here today. You have been such a wonderful audience. You've been here with us since morning, and we are so appreciative of the fact that you have stood your grounds. Ordinarily, people would just leave, but you decided to to the end, and we're thankful. Honorable is coming to thank you as well. You guys are to thank them. Come and thank them. Thank you so much for today. My name remains Oluwaseyi Adegoke Adeyemo.
Thank you so much. I was actually coming here to something that in Delta State, we also have writers in Delta State. It will interest you to know that this my books, Senior Secondary Tourism Book 1, Senior Secondary Tourism Book 2, and Senior Secondary Tourism Book 3. Still counting, I also have another one. The first one is Tourism in Nigeria, The Incredible Journey to the Heart of Nature, a book endorsed by NCF, Nigerian Conservation Foundation. So please, 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 you have, we're trying to catch them young, I must say. We're trying to rewrite the narratives. We are trying to write our own narratives, tell the story as it is, not just by word of mouth, but in the books. So please, very soon, I'll employ you to grab copies of these books and let's catch them young, catch the next generation to have a passion for the tourism sector and see how we can move it to a next level. Thank you so much for coming on this show.
We're expecting you tomorrow, not a show. We're here today together. She hosts the show on TV, so she's talking show. Thank you for coming to this event. We're going to see you tomorrow at same time, 9
a.m. God bless you.
What did she say? I thought you said you do the raffle tomorrow. Okay. Mister, if he wants to give us something today, it's good that you are here. Those who didn't wait. Oh, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So quickly, those of you with your cards, just put them in those bags and we'll do a raffle now. So it's going to be 3 nights in Akure for the Ondo Auto Rally. That usually holds during Easter. I'm sure you saw those beautiful cars out there. So if you want to experience it, you see those cars running the streets. It starts right from the front of the governor's office. And you also have the off-road races, which run in the golf course at Alero. If you don't have your cards, we'll allow you to write your names on a small piece of paper. Let's quickly just do this so one person goes away with that today. And tomorrow we'll do another one, and we have some other gift prizes for tomorrow as well. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you tomorrow.